Well, it's now 12:04. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We do have quite a few folks who are in at various conferences that are joining us while they can, or not at all, unfortunately, but a few folks reached out and asked for the recording. They plan on getting all of their quote unquote homework done and participating in learning, but they couldn't be with us today. So but I am happy that you all are here with us today and hopefully bundled up. I have a nice heater going on me. Hopefully it's not too loud. If it is, please let me know. All right, so let's get started, Weston.
Right.
So I won't go over these, but I do like to always ground all the work that we're doing in our core priorities. If it's not aligned to what our overall vision is and what we're really trying to do together as a group, through Elevate TextEd, then we're not doing the right things. So our core priorities are recruitment, preparation, retention, and building leadership capacity across the state. And what we're doing here through our ambassadors program is really supporting quite a few of those different core priorities in a variety of ways. And if you weren't able to join us previously, the primary premise of this is you all are doing really, really great work out there, and so are your colleagues, but you were never necessarily taught how to take your really great work and translate it into digestible bits for mainstream media, or for the folks who really need it the most, which is our teachers who don't have time to go read your really fabulous article that's 40 pages that's behind a paywall. So this is for a training to help you translate that work in social media formats that are a lot more easily accessible to the folks we need to get, that we want to reach most of all. You can see some of the pillars here, which I kind of went over. And we will send out the PowerPoint, the slide deck, so you always have those. So you will always have those slides to refer back to. Here's our workshop schedule. Today we're doing building your brand. Next month we're going to talk about increasing engagement, and then the week after that, or the month after that, is our footnote training, which is very specific strategic communications training that many of your deans actually received, so that you can figure out how to write op-eds, for example, or to get your articles or your research into mainstream media news outlets. Like, you want to write for Newsweek an article about your work? Well, we're going to show you how to do that and help you do that. And then the last one, of course, is the effective use of Instagram tools. So just a little plug, some of you all have received your ambassador swag boxes and have posted on your social media accounts. If you haven't, please do. Just take a photo of it. If you don't want to be in the photo, that's okay. Although, of course, we'd love to see your smiley, happy face with your bag of Elevate TextEd swag. Post it on there, hashtag Elevate TextEd, UT and service to Texas and UT system. Not only does this help us to promote the work that we're doing, but it helps you to get a little bit more comfortable posting and hashtagging and all of that really good stuff. Once we see that, we will take your social media post and we will repost it. So that way we're expanding your reach as well, and hopefully building some followers for you in the process. And I believe we talked to you all about this last time around. We did send this all to your deans, but we are doing a pilot this year of trying to get Elevate TextEd student ambassadors. So what I'm really excited about this program for is that we are doing kind of a dual mentorship, right? So you you don't have to do this, but it would be great. We would bring in a student ambassador who would kind of partner with you in some respects. So you're mentoring them on some level around research and sharing your practice with them. And they're helping you to figure out how to do this social media thing, because it really does come second nature to them. It is shocking to me how they understand all of this naturally, but they really do. And if you have teenage kids, you know what I am talking about. So this would be undergraduates from your institution. We have things like they're going to go and take videos of, what is it, what is it like to live a day in the life of an undergraduate student at UTRGV in the College of Education. So everything is vetted, of course, before we post it, but we want to be able to share their stories up on our social media sites. And also have them help you figure out how to do some of the social media stuff. You would work together on posts. And then in the process, you're mentoring them, hopefully keeping them in the ed prep pipeline, right? So they'll be really engaged. We do have a few applications so far, but if you have somebody you'd particularly like to work with from your undergraduate class, please go ahead and recommend them. We will send this to you after the meeting. You can send that off to them. Apply. The application deadline is 11/30, so the end of this month. We do sweeten the pot a little bit for them to participate, but I think it's a really great project, and I hope that you think it is as well. So please do recommend one of your students to this, particularly somebody you want to work with, right? Any questions or thoughts about this? I saw a few folks saying this is a great idea, and I'm so happy to hear that. I'm really happy to hear that. Any thoughts, questions? And Ashley did drop the link for the Student Ambassador Forum in the chat. So, all right.
How many students? Is there a limit to the number of students that you are accepting from the different universities?
Not right now. Since this is a pilot program, we're anticipating not getting flooded so much where we have to turn people away. I mean, I do anticipate it's going to be so successful that next year we will do that. But I'm thinking, probably no more than 2 from each institution, but it might be that we've got 6 from UT Austin and 2 from UTSA or however that would work out. And that's fine too. So if you don't have to work with somebody specifically from your institution, we just love the whole like mentoring scaffold kind of piece to that. So
I have a quick comment if there are no more questions, Nicole.
Oh yeah, no, I think we're good.
Oh, I just wanted to say for everyone's benefit, if you look at that form, it is really intended for your students to fill out. They have to put, their name and some information. So if you have a student who you'd like to nominate, you can just send them the link to the form and they can fill it out. And now I think that we have Erin with us, and she can feel free to go ahead and take over.
Hi, I'm a little scattered, but I'm here. Class was lovely. I taught freshmen today for the first time. I was covering for somebody else, and freshmen are very different than seniors. All right, so I wanted to start off by highlighting some really good work that we have seen. So Stacy, I hope we don't embarrass you, but we wanted to show the work you've done on your Instagram over the past month. So here's a snapshot of Stacy's Instagram. Some things that I love that we've seen on here are the bio is very much crafted after those mentor bios we looked at. It's very clear who she is, what she's here for. She's got a link in there. And then we see a variety of media on here. So I want to kind of open it up. What else do we see here that's going really well?
I like the idea of including students for sure in the work that we're doing.
Definitely.
Is that Stacy's solutiontree.com? Is that her website?
It's actually a link to the book that I just had published.
Okay. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Also, was not expecting to see my face on the PowerPoint presentation.
We probably should have sent you a heads up, but surprise.
It's okay. I was just thinking, I was trying to take pictures of my class. I was thinking it's always after the fact, like, oh, I should have gotten a picture of my class on Zoom, or, oh, I should have done whatever. And so I don't feel that I feel like there's other things I probably should need to be adding, and hopefully it comes to me before after the fact in the future.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think when we're teaching, especially, we're just like so involved in teaching that it's hard to think about what we want to share about it afterwards. So maybe you'll get a fantastic student ambassador who will just help you remember all those things.
Right. I reached out to them, and it's kind of crickets right now, but they're really overwhelmed with all the things that they're needing to have completed before the end of the semester. So hopefully we'll get a couple of good ones.
Yeah, it is a hard time of the year for sure. All right, well, thank you, Stacy, for allowing us to share your work. So a couple more shout outs, surprise to 4 more of you. Here, I just wanted to point out again the bios that are crafted so beautifully. All 4 of these ambassadors, it's super clear what to expect from your profiles, and your profile pictures are clear headshots. So shout out, round of applause to all of you who are well on your way to becoming influencers. All right, so I want to open up the floor for a check-in. So some of you, we just highlighted your work. Others of you might be like, oh shoot, I haven't done anything this month. So I just kind of want to open it up and ask you guys, what work have you done in the past month? What's been going well? What hasn't gone well? What are some challenges you're facing? And then any follow-up questions from last week. Just want to open up the floor for a couple minutes.
So I was banned from Instagram and I just got my account back. Is that normal? I haven't even
What were you
posted anything and I was
It's
banned.
because you're wild and crazy, Odell.
Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
I sent Nicole the message that I finally got reinstated, but I just got a message saying I'd been banned. So
Well, welcome back.
I have a challenge. I want to, I share. Well,
Yeah.
okay. I created a new professional Instagram account. However, I posted on my existing account, and the reason is I don't know, and I'm gonna probably have to ask my daughters. I don't know how on my phone to add the account, like to be able to see or switch between accounts. So I don't know how to do that. But anyway, that was my challenge. The other challenge is I want to get a different picture and I haven't had a chance to take a picture. So those are the things that I'm going to work on for sure, in the next couple of weeks.
If you
Well,
click
yeah,
on
I
your,
can.
sorry.
Nope,
I
go
was
for it.
just gonna say, I was just gonna say if you click on your name in the Instagram app, at the top left corner, I believe it should let you take you to where you can add another account on that same app itself. So you should be able to switch between the 2 accounts from the Instagram app itself.
Yeah, if you're on your profile, can you see my screen? If you're on your profile and you click your name, then it allows you to choose the account you'd like to log into. Well, clearly I have several accounts on there. For you, you would just need to add the new one.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have been experimenting with mine. I have been on a health transformation with food. So I have just been posting what I have been eating, how I prepared my lean and green meals. So that's what I have on mine because I was experimenting with it. So that's all I have so far. And I am still relatively new to hashtag, but following this, I will spend some time on the weekend to do the hashtag stuff.
Yeah, I think experimenting is definitely one of the ways that we figure out how to do this. So that's great.
So I attended a webinar hosted by Linda Darling Hammond, and I tweeted about it, and then she replied to my tweet. So I'm very excited.
Isn't that so exciting?
Yeah,
I
it's
love it when I tag an author on a book and then they respond. I feel like a celebrity.
Mhm. I was gonna say that's like, having Madonna or somebody responding to you. It's pretty exciting. She's big.
Awesome. All right. So today we're going to talk about branding. So as academics, our brand is ourselves. So when we do branding on Instagram, that can include, but is not limited to, the types of content that we post, the fonts and colors that we use, the way we write captions. So when I write captions, I typically have like a pretty big chunk and then another big chunk, and there's lots of like emojis mixed in there. And that's kind of like my branding when I post academic things. And then also the graphics that we use, the graphics that we post. We're going to do some practice on Canva today to turn our own research into some of these graphics that we can share. So when we look at branding, we want some types of consistency across all of these things. So we're going to revisit our mentor accounts from last week and look specifically at branding. Thank you. So we're just going to take 5 minutes. It'll be a quick revisit today. But what I've done is I've added a slide for everyone to your mentor account section. So the account that you looked at last month, we're going to revisit that same account and these same slides. And we're going to be looking at what stands out to you about their brand. Do specific fonts or colors show up repeatedly? Do they have a specific style for how they write their caption? What do you notice about the graphics? Any consistency between graphics? And then what other patterns or consistencies do you notice that highlight their brand? So I have a list of links for you guys. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, so I am dropping in the chat these mentor account slides. So once I see the little anonymous badgers and things show up, I'll know that you guys are in there. Perfect. So you're just going to find the account you looked at last week, open up that same account, and then get started on the slides with the orange column. Are there any questions before we go ahead and start this? All right, go ahead and start that timer, Weston, if you're ready. All right, that is just about time. I know that was fast, but for the sake of time, we are going to move on. But before we do, I'd love to hear from a couple people. You can use the chat or unmute and just let us know, what did you notice about the branding of your mentor account?
I was looking at Miss Christina Costa, and hers is I don't necessarily notice anything about like specific fonts or colors that necessarily show up, but it's definitely, you can tell she's an educator. You can tell, you know, she shares her story about breast cancer and things like that. So it's kind of a mix of work-related stuff and personal stuff with, you know, she seems like she's kind of funny, you know, and that she's got some really cool teaching techniques also. So it's not, you know, she's, I don't know. I like some of the pictures and things that she posts I think it's a good mix.
Since you started with her, I can add on to that too. That's the one I also wrote about. And I thought she really she mixes her human real life in with her work life. I think that like people feel like she's really a human that they can relate to. And she seems to post every like 3 to 5 days, so not every day all the time, but just kind of spreads it out. And I appreciate her sense of humor. So she is fighting an illness, and she just has a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. And just a cool technique I saw, I can't remember where it's down here, but where she asked her students at the beginning of class, what are the, you know, 5 words that come to you? And then she turned it into kind of like a poem thing. And so that's just kind of interesting too. Just ways to engage your students in different ways too, that I really liked.
In the chat, I see a pattern of graphic photo. Yeah, some people are very purposeful about how often they post different types of content, and also the consistency as well of every 3 to 5 days, maybe not every day. Yeah, awesome. All right, so we're going to be talking about how to create those graphics. Yes, we're absolutely moving into Canva now, so it's a great transition. So we're going to be talking about how to create our own graphics using Canva. So we're going to spend the next about 10 minutes watching some tutorial videos. The professionals at Canva are far better at explaining how to use Canva than I am. So we are going to take advantage of the professional development materials that they have already created. For those of you who already have Canva accounts, you've already used it, you are familiar with the basics, what I would encourage you to do for the next 10 minutes is to click around on the further learning, the design courses that they have. There's so much on Canva that we don't take advantage of, I think. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat, and this link is for the other design courses. So there's some on personal branding, there's some on education. So I don't want to bore you with 10 minutes of videos that you know everything about. So I encourage you to click around, see what you can find on there. All right. Any questions before we start these videos? Awesome. After this, we'll have some scaffolded breakout rooms where we get to practice what we're learning from the video.
Designing can feel overwhelming with complex interfaces, tools, and blank pages. Where do you start? Well, Canva is here to make it easy for everyone. First things first, Canva is made for you. It's been built for you to explore, experiment, make mistakes, and enjoy the design process by making work feel like play. Canva is jam-packed with inspiring templates, and our library is growing every day. We recommend you start small and add things as you feel comfortable. Let's check out the interface, learn where to find what you need, use and edit templates to make designs uniquely yours, and how to find more help should you need it. Our goal is to encourage exploration and build your Canva confidence, so you feel empowered to dive in and design anything. Ready to jump in and start learning? Let's go. First, let's log in. Once you're signed in, you'll see a homepage that looks like this. In the top left, you'll see the home button to take you back home, no matter where you wander off to. Under templates, you'll see categories of templates you can use. In features, you'll find photos, icons, and access to the Canva print homepage. The Learn menu holds everything from tips and tricks to in-depth courses where you can really get your study on. And pricing. If you already have a pro account, you won't see this. If you're using a free account, you'll find all the info you need about pricing or how to apply for a nonprofit or education account. Recommended for You populates based on designs you've created in the past, trends, events, and popular designs. Here you can start inspired with a template instead of a blank page. The All Your Designs page is home to all the designs you've created in this account. Just like with recent designs, it's a good place to jump back into a design you've been working on and pick up where you left off. Find designs that have been shared with you. This is one of Canva's superpowers, the ability to collaborate and share ideas with others. BrandKit is available with a pro account and is a place to upload your brand resources, fonts, color palettes, and logos. This makes them easily accessible within the editor. Create a team and invite people to collaborate on projects here. You can also give people different permission levels. More on this later. All Your Folders allows you to organize all your projects. This will become very important as you start to create more and more. And your trash. Remember that thing you thought you put in a folder but actually just deleted? Whoops! Here, you can restore the item to bring it out of the trash or permanently delete it. If you select this option, be sure you don't need it because it will be gone forever. In the middle, you'll see the search field. This will be a place you go to often. Here's a link to get help. This will take you through to Canva's Help Center, where you can find all sorts of answers. There's also a search style help here. It's like a handy assistant if you need a quick answer. You'll find your account settings over here. Do everything from updating your details to signing out or referring a friend. Lastly, there's a button that says Create a Design. What happens when you click this button is the basis for the next video. So there you have it. Welcome to Canva. You're signed up and signed in. And you know how to find your way around the home screen. Ready to keep going?
Now for the next video.
So what happens if you click that big purple button? You'll be prompted to browse or search templates to choose from. Let's start with an A4 document or US letter. This will take you to a blank page in the Canva editor. You can start designing from scratch, but using a template means you can start inspired. We've found people who start with a template get a lot more done in a shorter time. So our team has designed and built templates for every use we could think of. Discover everything from lost cat flyers to annual reports in all sorts of styles. Some templates have a single page. Others have multiple pages designed in a consistent style like this one. Let's choose a template to kickstart your creativity. But before we start designing, let's take a look around the editor. To add a new page to your document, click the page icon here, or duplicate a page like this. See your pages as thumbnails in grid view, handy for multiple page documents. Want to delete a page? Just click the trash icon. To the left is our object panel. We call these our design ingredients. The templates tab is open, but underneath you'll see elements, uploads, text, and the mysterious more tab. Click each to see what's inside. To see our page more clearly, we can hide the expanded sidebar by clicking here. Let's show our rulers. Rulers display measurements on the X and Y axis. You can click and drag in a guide. This is helpful when you need to make sure everything is aligned correctly. To move it, click and drag where you need it to be. Don't worry, these guides won't show up when you download or print. If guides are getting in the way, just hide them like this. We can clear guides completely in the right-click menu. Let's show our page margins. We recommend to keep all text and elements within the margins, especially if you're printing. There are other options in the File menu to explore yourself. Resize is a pro feature that allows you to magically resize your design to any other document size. It's a huge time saver. Here's our handy Undo button. Undo anytime you've done something you're not happy with. A quick shortcut is to press Command or Control-Z on your keyboard. You can also redo here. Canva autosaves when you're working online. Note the saving notification here. If it says unable to save, you might need to check your internet connection. Across the top is the name of your design. This design is untitled, so let's click to add a name. Click here to share your design with others and allow them to view or edit it. Download and save your design to your computer. And here are your print options. In Canva, printing and delivery is just a click away. It has a 100% happiness guarantee. So if it turns up on your doorstep and you're not happy with it, we'll fix it. And finally, the Publish button with all the options for how you might choose to publish your design. Now let's get back to customizing our template. Bounding boxes appear when you hover over page elements. When an element is selected, the box stays highlighted. Rotate or resize using these handles. Or click and drag the element to move it. Double-click to edit. Let's make a few changes here. Once you're done, click the page background to deselect everything. Certain template elements may be grouped together, and if you try to move one, others will also move. To ungroup elements, select it and click Ungroup. To group elements together, select an element, hold the Shift key, and click another. Then click Group. You can move elements back or bring them forward like this. This allows stacking items over the top of one another in layers. If something is obstructing your view, you might need to send it backward to see the elements underneath. Certain items have additional editing options in the toolbar. We can change color, flip, crop, or animate elements. We'll dive deeper into this later on. Now we've covered how to choose a template to start Inspired. Are you ready to see how big Canva is?
All right, so those are some introductory videos, hopefully helpful to some of us. I'm sure definitely repetitive or something you already knew to some of us as well. But we're going to go ahead and practice some of these skills. So Weston, would you bring up the slides one more time just so we can see the directions for this activity? All right, so we asked you to come to this meeting with an idea of a piece of research you'd like to share or a teaching practice you'd like to share. So we're going to break into breakout rooms and then log into Canva, find Instagram templates, and then insert our research or our teaching practice into the template. And then when we're done, we'll download that graphic. And then the plan was to add them to the set of slides. For the sake of time, we're probably just going to have 10 or 15 minutes instead of 20. So I don't know that we'll all get to finish creating a graphic, but we are going to play around with it and see how far we can get. So the first breakout room, we're going to identify as beginner. So if you've never used Canva before, you've never logged in, you really want some support, this breakout room is going to be for you. Room 2 is intermediate. So if you're like, you have a Canva account, you've like kind of used it, but you'd like some help kind of picking templates, picking Instagram formatting, that kind of thing, that room's going to be for you. And then the last room is advanced. So that's for those of you who are feeling pretty confident in Canva. Maybe you just want to just get your stuff done, or maybe you want to practice kind of making a video or doing something you haven't done before, then that room would be for you. So are there any questions about this activity before we get started? All right, then I guess we can go ahead and open those breakout rooms. You can choose the one that works best for you. And then I think we'll come back here at...
I just want to say that that was fun. Doing that in a group, I think, was really fun. Even though we weren't really talking, but we were there together, figuring it out. And so I just want to offer, if anyone is interested in doing some office hours where we do get together and work on some of these things together, I'm happy to make that happen on our end. It may just be me in there, and I'm a beginner, but I will be there with you as we figure these things out. So if you're interested, just let me know and I can make that happen.
Thank you, Nicole. I'd love to do a share out, but I know that we are out of time. So we're not going to be able to share out, but I hope that y'all got to play around with it and learned a little bit. So a few notes will you go back to the previous one, please, Weston, real quick? Thank you. So just a few quick notes on posting your graphics whenever you are at a place where you're ready to share. One of the things we noticed with branding is that it's ideal to have a balanced mix of graphics and photographs, although some accounts do exclusively graphics if you want to go that route. To share more information than you can fit onto one graphic, you might want to do a carousel post. That's when you do multiple graphics and you can swipe through them. And then the caption is going to add just as much as the information on the graphic. So think about how you want to caption it and what information you want to share, and that would include hashtags as well. And then timing can be key. So the Instagram algorithm is tricky and always changing, but the data we currently have shows us that the best times for people in education to post are Friday mornings around 10 a.m., Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then our highest engagement is Wednesday and Friday around mid-morning, and Saturday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. This is not a hard and fast rule, but this is what the most recent data in education shows us. And then on Sunday, no one's on Instagram and education, I guess. So Sundays are for other things. All right. And that is it for me.
Yeah, so moving on to the homework portion. Before you leave today, hopefully you were able to add your Instagram handle to the chart. There's a link there, I believe, if you haven't yet. And I think Weston will be sending this PowerPoint out, so you can click on that when you receive that after today's meeting. Also try and set an output goal for the semester. An example would be maybe posting one Canva graphic to share your research each month on your social media channels. And before next meeting, we really want you to continue furthering your knowledge of Canva and crafting brand enhancing visuals through a bunch of video tutorials, which you can find on canva.com. And we've linked them here for you as well. And also just try to make at least one Canva created post between now and next meeting. Hopefully you'll have some downtime over the holidays. And just be sure to use the hashtag ElevateTextED. And then the next slide shows our homework and review sheet for building your brand. And so that will be emailed out as well. And you can just review some points that we've discussed in this meeting, and it kind of recaptures the homework assignments as well. So, and that's it for me.
Great, thank you. Well, we are out of time. Again, if you're interested in doing any office hours just to work on Canva together, please reach out to me and I will make that happen. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everything you do for Texas teachers every single day. Y'all take care.